All right, everybody. Today we're going to make a greeting card with Adobe Photoshop 2025. First thing we're going to do is click New File. And I want to put this on a 6x4 photograph rather than paying good money for the various companies out there that do this. I want this to be landscape orientation, although I could choose to do portrait if I'd like, but I'm going to stick with this landscape. I'm going to click Create. And here we have our blank card. Now, I need to have some photos, which I've conveniently gotten a nice collection of photos from this past year. And if I click and drag and drop right here in this top bar, it'll bring the photo up. I can take the selection tool, and maybe I'll just select this part here of this photo that my wife took while at the Iron Maiden concert recently. I'm going to hit Control-C to copy this. I'm going to hit Control-V when I go back over to my Christmas card. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Edit, and then I'm going to hit Scale from the Transform menu. I've got it locked up here, so I can just grab any one of these beans and pull it down. Get this kind of lined up where I want. And do something maybe like this. And there it is. I can click this checkbox right here, or I can hit Enter on the keyboard to lock that in place. I will be able to move it later. I can select the Move tool, and I can move this any which place I want. So kind of nice, and it looks like that just kind of magically took up about half the card width-wise. So that's neat. Again, I can take another photo. Maybe I want this one right here, and I'm going to copy it in there. And again, Selection tool. We'll get most Eddie in here. And we'll do something like this. Again, copy and paste. Ooh, Control-Z that. Copy and paste. There we are. That's nice. Again, we're going to go to Edit, Transform, and Scale to get this going. Just grabbing any one of these beans. And maybe we'll make this to where it's the same height as this other one. You just have to kind of figure out what you want to do. Now, again, hit that checkbox. Now what I can do is I can kind of move this about here. And I kind of like this the way it is. However, if I wanted to have the layers help me out a little bit so I don't have to cut and trim these with my selection tool and worry about what layer I'm on things, I can just scooch this over a little bit. Let's say I wanted my wife to be a little bit covered up by Eddie. And I could take layer 2 and put it up under layer 1. And now we have this sort of effect here that I like. You know, it's a little bit tighter in there. And maybe I can get a photo in here. Maybe not. We'll see. You're going to have to play around with this and see what you like. Once you have all that set, you can use the text tool. And you can put your message on there. And I'm not sure what mine will say. Maybe it'll say Merry Christmas. Oh, better select that. If you are like me and you sometimes have a hard time getting all the text selected, Control-A will select it all, and then you can go. Merry Christmas from the Cordis family. There we go. I purposely selected a nice long message because you can see it doesn't fit on one row. Text is kind of big. So again, Control-A to select all the text. And if I mouse over this little text icon right here, I can scroll left and right with my mouse, click and drag essentially left and right, and then I can set it to where the text is just the right size to fit on the same line. I can again grab and move this about, click your little checkbox here, you've got your text now. And you of course could select any font you want with the wide array that they have. And if that's not your thing, well, you could always find a font that you want to bring in. That's beyond the scope of this video, though. Let's say that I really like this font, but I don't really feel it stands out. What I could do is go to Layers, and what I like to do is just create a kind of a base layer, if you will. So here's this layer that's going to be below everything else, and I'm going to use my Selection tool. And I'm going to make a nice little strip here, which since it's the base layer, I could cover this up with the photos quite easily. You'll see that in a moment. And I could take the paint bucket and just bring it in here, making sure that I've got that layer 3 selected. And there it is. Now this is going to make that text pop a little bit, if you will. One other thing that I could do if I wanted is I could go to type. Let's say I'm fully satisfied with my text. I could go to rasterize type layer. And now that's going to make it to where I could do whatever I want with this text now. I can modify it just like I would a photo or an image or anything like that. The only thing is now it's not going to treat it like text anymore. So you have to be satisfied that that's exactly what you want it to say before you do that. Now, again, with this paint bucket, let's say I wanted to make this pop a little bit more. Let's go ahead and go white here. And I could take the paint bucket and accidentally hit the outline of the text there. All right, there it is. And I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of this, but just to demonstrate what this is, I think it works well. And you can see now that this is going to be significantly easier to read. I think it stands out quite well versus this black on red thing. So that is, something that you'll have to decide what you want to do there. Let's go ahead and fast forward in time to where I've got this thing all laid out and completely done. All right, here is the photo card as I have set it up. Not too bad here. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from the Cordes family, which we generally don't get these out to the New Year, so it's probably good I included it. And I feel like the text works well. We've got stuff from the race that we went to this year, the Iron Maiden concert, and also the total solar eclipse. So I feel like we've hit all the high points and got a good mixture of individuals in here. So that's it for this. If you guys have any questions, make sure to post up in the comments. Don't hesitate, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks again for watching, everybody. We'll catch you soon.